In the world of finance, there is a cruel, unspoken paradox. The less money you have, the more everything costs. Most people believe that being wealthy is expensive because of the luxury cars, the mansions, and the designer clothes. But the reality is exactly the opposite. Being rich is remarkably cheap. It's being broke that is expensive. There is an invisible tax that the world collects from those who can least afford to pay it. It's not a tax collected by the government, but by the very structure of our economy. It's a tax on being unable to buy in bulk, a tax on having a low credit score, and a tax on not being able to wait for a sale. Today, we are stripping back the curtain on the invisible poor tax. We're going to explore the systemic traps that make it mathematically difficult to escape poverty, and more importantly, the money logic you need to stop paying these hidden fees forever. To understand why it's expensive to be broke, we have to look at the Vimes Boots Theory of socioeconomic unfairness. Imagine two people. One has $200 and buys a pair of high-quality boots that will last 10 years. The other only has $30, so they buy a pair of cheap boots that last 6 months. Over the next 10 years, the person who could only afford the cheap boots will have spent $600 on footwear, and they'll still have wet feet. This is the quality gap. When you are broke, you are forced to buy the cheapest version of everything, from tires for your car to appliances for your home. These items break faster, consume more energy, and require constant replacement. The rich pay once, the poor pay forever. This is the first layer of the invisible tax, the inability to invest in durability. Wealthy people have the liquidity to buy in bulk. They have the storage space and the $500 to spend at Costco to drive their per-unit cost down to the absolute minimum. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have that luxury. You buy the single roll of toilet paper, you buy the small box of detergent, you buy the $2 individual snacks. When you buy in small quantities, you are paying a convenience premium that can be 100 to 300% higher than the bulk price. Over a year, this micron tax adds up to thousands of dollars. The rich are essentially getting a 50% discount on life simply because they have the cash to buy more of it at once. Money is a tool, but it's also a measure of trust in the eyes of the bank. If you have a high credit score and $100,000 in the bank, the world wants to give you more money for almost nothing. You get the 3% mortgage, you get the 0% APR car loan, you get the credit cards with 5% cash back. In other words, the bank pays you to spend money. But if you are broke, the world views you as a risk, and risk is expensive. You are forced into 24% interest rates on credit cards. You are targeted by payday lenders with 400% APR. You are forced to pay security deposits for utilities and apartments that the wealthy never see. When you have no money, you pay a massive premium for the privilege of using someone else's. The rich use debt to get richer. The poor use debt just to survive the week. Time is the only asset that is distributed equally, but for the poor, time is stripped away by inefficient infrastructure. If you can't afford a reliable car, you spend 3 hours a day on public transit for a commute that takes 20 minutes by car. If you can't afford a washing machine, you spend 4 hours a week at a laundromat. If you can't afford a dishwasher, you spend hours at the sink. This is the time tax. When you are busy surviving, you have zero time to thrive. You don't have the time to learn a new skill, start a side hustle, or research investments. Poverty is a full-time job that pays nothing and leaves you too exhausted to look for a better one. Banks made over $11 billion in overdraft fees in a single year. Who paid those fees? Not the billionaires. If your balance drops below a certain level, the bank charges you a monthly maintenance fee. If you accidentally spend $2 more than you have, they charge you a $35 fee. Essentially, banks charge you money for not having enough money. When you are wealthy, the bank waives all fees. They give you free checks, free wire transfers, and a personal banker. The invisible poor tax is literally written into the terms and conditions of your bank account. Knowing that the system is stacked against you isn't enough. You have to use money logic to fight back. So how do you stop paying the invisible poor tax? Prioritize the emergency fund. Even $500 can stop the overdraft tax and the payday loan trap. It is your shield against the system. Buy for value, not price. Whenever possible, save up to buy the item that lasts. One $60 pair of shoes is cheaper than four $20 pairs. Aggressive credit repair. Your credit score is the single most important factor in lowering your cost of living. Treat it like your life depends on it. Bulk buy strategically. Even on a tight budget, find the one or two items you use most and find a way to buy them in bulk. The world is expensive when you are broke, but the cycle can be broken. It starts with awareness, it continues with discipline, and it ends with freedom. At Money Logic, we don't just want you to have more money, we want you to have a better system. Subscribe to join a community that thinks clearly about wealth. Stop paying the hidden taxes and start owning your future.